Alrighty, what is going on, guys? It is John here for you. And what we're looking at right now is my trusty old John Deere Z920m. Now, I know a lot of you guys have been asking, how's this thing doing, all that kind of stuff. I know you haven't seen a whole lot of videos on it this summer. I do apologize about not having a lot of videos out. I just really haven't had the time, haven't really had a desire, to be honest, till recently. So anyway, enough of me making excuses. We're going to go ahead and get into this 100-hour review. As you guys can see right here, got 110.7 hours. Camera doesn't have a lot of battery left in it, so I'm going to have to make this somewhat fast. But 110 hours, I did go ahead and change the engine oil on this thing, and cleaned it off, sharpened the blades, greased it all up. I did everything except for change the fluid in the pumps. So I'll probably do that about 150 hours. But I change your engine oil every 50 hours on this thing. And it looked pretty good. Went ahead and put a new air filter in it. Didn't really have to, but I went ahead and did that. As far as other problems besides just maintenance, I have had one very minor little issue with this thing. There was a yard that I did over the summer that was actually, did it in the rain, and I was not in a very good place because I was angry at myself for having to do it in the rain, and the yard was extremely bumpy and I was going at it just full force. And what ended up happening was this little adjuster nut right here for the deck height ended up coming loose, and the deck got a little bit out of adjustment side to side, and I had to re-level the deck. But that was the only problem there. It was only pretty much because of I was running it a little too fast and jostling it around too much. But nothing, I finished the yard, no problem, and it was very, very minute of a change that I had to make. So you guys can see I'm standing in my own yard right now, and this was all cut with this mower, and it did a pretty good job. The Tweels are hanging in there, no problems at all. So you guys can see they look perfectly fine. They have 100 hours on them. I do use these things on the road to transport to jobs if they're really close to where I live. I just drive the mower there, there's no reason to get the trailer out and the truck and everything. But the Tweels have no problems at all. They've been really, really good. They're just like they were when I just got them. So I've had these things over a year that I've been running them, 110 hours on them, which I know isn't much time, but no problems there. Let's see, anything else? Chute blocker's hanging in there. I do need to grease it. It's a bit squeaky. Now it doesn't squeak, but anyway, so that's looking good there. This Tweel on this side, you guys can see it's pretty dirty because this is where the grass comes out and it hits this side of the Tweel over here. But there's no problems with this guy here. The Kawasaki engine's hanging in there, no problems. Like I said, it's just been basic maintenance on this thing. Nothing crazy. I do keep this mower really clean. As you guys can see, I clean the, blow out the fans on top of the pumps and blow out all this here. Try to keep it as clean as possible. I do scrape out the deck every once in a while, if I'm cutting in really wet grass or whatever, it does get stuck up in there. But it's not a huge concern. The cut quality on the deck, I couldn't be happier with. So I think, as you guys can see right here, that the back of the deck, this back wall is where the grass rides. There's no extra baffles that are right up in here. And because of that, this thing disperses the grass pretty well. If you're cutting in a really thick environment, then it will, build up a good amount of clippings, but it will never clump them up. Very, very seldomly does this mower ever leave a clump. If you put it in the right conditions, it will, obviously, but I've noticed that it does a pretty good job overall. Striping wise, I think there's a little bit to be desired. You can get it to stripe really well, and if you guys follow me on Instagram, which is at JD Tractor, you will know that I do get some really nice looking striped yards with this here mower. But I mean, you guys can see, I mean, you can faintly see some stripes here. This is just a single stripe, and it's not the greatest. I really think that some other manufacturers have this thing on a leg up as far as striping goes. But then again, it's not terrible. And other than that, guys, I really love the mower. It's done everything I need it to do. Comfort-wise, I think it's the best mower as far as comfort goes, hands down. You have the most room on there, in my opinion, and it just feels like it's built really well. It's never given me a problem. And there you go. So I know this is kind of a boring 100-hour update because there's really nothing to update because nothing's really changed. But oh, the other thing that I'm not a huge fan of on this mower, and this is simply because of which trim level I picked, there are some instances where I wish that this thing had a little bit more power. Now I know this is the smallest Kawasaki engine that's offered on these zero turns. This is the 23.5 horsepower, the FX730V. You guys can see her right back here. So there's some times where I wish this thing had a little more power. You know, maybe I stepped up to the 930M, which I know is one of the more popular ones. But it always gets the job done, and I've never been, you know, feeling like I really need to have more power to finish this. The mower's not good enough. Never have I felt that. It has enough power, but there are some instances when you're getting really thick stuff, or especially when you're going up hills mowing, that you could use a little more power. That's not a knock directly on this mower. That's just if you guys are shopping for one, if you know that you're going to be doing a lot of really big things or a lot of hills or whatever, that you may want to look at the next step up to get that little bigger engine to have a little bit more power for it. But yeah, guys, cut quality is great. And please don't take what I'm saying about the striping the wrong way. This thing does stripe, and you can make it stripe really well. It's just that I think they could be a little better. If you guys have any questions, I know I've gotten a lot of questions about this here floor mat. I'll try to find a part number and I'll put it down in the description below. It may take a little bit, so it may not be there right now, but I'll eventually try to put it there. The other thing I wanted to mention is that when I did my initial review of this mower, you guys flat out tore me up on you better not be setting your throttle at full throttle and engaging your PTO. I stand corrected. I've since looked at my manual and all that kind of stuff, and what the manual tells you to do is to set it at half throttle to 3/4 throttle. So I set it right around there, and then engage the blades, let them engage fully, and then I rev it up the rest of the way. That's how I do it. If you guys watch any of my mowing videos, you know that that's the way that I engage the blades on this thing. The manual also says that to turn this blades off, you have your throttle set all the way up, your blades are engaged, all you have to do is flip the switch. You don't have to worry about throttling down or anything. So that's what it says in the book, and that's what I've been doing, and it hasn't given me any problems since then. So anyway, guys, like I said before, if you have any questions on this mower, please let me know. I'll do my best to answer those for you, and I hope you guys look forward to some more mowing videos. I'm going to be back at school now, and I'll be mowing on some different brands of mowers, not so much the Exmark anymore. So I'll try to do some filming of that, and you guys can look forward to getting some filming from that particular mower. I'll let you guys in the comments what it's going to be. And I appreciate you guys watching this video and for subscribing. And I ask you to go ahead and hit that like button for me, and I'll see you all in the next video.